Hello guys and welcome to What the Tech episode number 34. My name is Adam Lobo.
And I'm Vernon. So happy to be back.
Yes, it was a solo episode I did last week. It really felt like I was talking to a wall. It is different compared to what I do my usual reviews because, I have my teleprompter in front of me and then, I'm doing my sarcasm on my left-hand side. But this time around, it's just sit down here and just talk. I'm glad y'all are still okay with that. But yes, of course, we need Vernon in our lives.
Lonely time.
Lonely time, but it was interesting. I didn't think that it's going to be that long. And I saw it was
quite long.
Yeah. The reason why I insisted to still do it, because there was a lot to talk about. We could always skip it. But I decided to talk a little more on the X300 Pro, the Vivo, and also other interesting news which also came out, like the self-repairing screen, which Said has talked about. Yeah. So it was a very interesting episode, and hopefully we don't do that often. But even if you do, probably I might look into doing reviews like that. If you guys like that particular format, or me sitting down here just giving my first impressions, let us know in the comment section below. It is episode number 34. It is nice that we have been having these episodes. We appreciate all your amazing feedback and all. Now, as usual, when we do our What the Tech news and this particular podcast, it's not so much only on the news. We also talk about the devices to give you a bit more in-depth level of conversations, because sometimes we do the reviews. Certain things I didn't mention, so right now we can talk about. So the first devices, I will be talking about the good and the bad, and then you can give your reactions. And if you guys have any reactions to that, you can also let us know in the comment section below. And that is none other than the iPhone Air. The good news is that the iPhone Air review video was accepted properly. A lot of people liked it. The views and the engagements was great.
I liked it too.
Thank you. And I feel like I really wanted to tell a story from Apple's perspective and why that this phone may not be for everyone, but there's a reason why it exists, and there will be a certain amount of people. Now, one of the news which Said covered yesterday was the fact that, very weirdly, that this phone is not selling very well, to our surprise, which we'll talk about that later. But let's talk about the good. First and foremost, the design, the feel. You have held it, I've held it. It is ultra thin. And like I said, the first 4 seconds that you hold the phone and you start using the phone, it really feels so futuristic. It is extremely bright and it's really nice. The titanium frame and the ceramic shield too, before Zach from Jerry Rigs Everything, before he bend tested and all, we didn't think that it was durable. Yeah. But after he did all the tests and it was durable, it makes me feel a bit more confident using this phone, and it makes me a bit more confident to recommend this particular phone.
I mean, who would have thought, being the thinnest and lightest phone, it is also the most durable and toughest phone in the lineup?
I agree.
Nobody really expected it, really.
Yeah, and that's where we are very lucky to be in a position that we are as tech enthusiasts, because whenever people who are not into tech so much or don't go and watch the videos from Zach or watch our review videos, their first impressions would be that, wow, it's so thin. I'm sure that
it's going to break.
It's going to break, or if you fall, it breaks. But while we knew that it was titanium, even people like us thought it wouldn't be as durable as it is. So that is good. Another very good thing that I also found out using this phone about 2 weeks is the fact that it's extremely comfortable. Even though it's thin, it's not like sharp at the edges. So it really feels so nice and light. And if you go with this particular cloud white color, you won't see any visible scratches. There's no visible fingerprints as well because of how it has a matte finish. The display, really, really gorgeous. You just take a look at this, right? It is so nice, it's sharp. Last time, Samsung phones were the best when it comes to automatic brightness. Now, finally, Apple has finally caught up. Whether or not they're using Samsung's display, there's no exact data backing that up. They might, or they might be using LG or BOE, we do not know. But what matters the most is that if you're going to get the new 17 or the Air series, you are definitely going to be getting a very good display. Performance-wise, even though it has one less GPU, using from a day-to-day basis is fine. But if you game on this, it's a different story, which we'll talk about the bad things about this in a short moment. Camera, well, remember we had that discussion about how we don't need ultra-wide lens as much as a lot of people think it is. So that's the case. If you're one of those people who don't take ultra wide camera shots, or even if you take the ultra wide selfie, the front camera has a selfie. And remember last time when we had this conversation about how the iPhone 17 baseline, the ultra wide lens was not so good in quality.
Yeah.
It's good over here. So I suspect.
But it's technically using the main lens, right? There's no.
Yeah, it's
ultra
using
wide.
the same lens, but I think it's the image processing on the Pro chip, because the baseline does not have a Pro chip, because it's the same camera, it's the same sensor.
Yeah.
But I did find that the baseline iPhone 17, the ultra wide shots had some level of color shift, and the dynamic range wasn't as good as the Air and even the Pros. So that was quite interesting. The center stage works beautifully. It's something whereby it's so nice to see on an iPhone, although an Android phone had that for the longest time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's better than the iPhone 17, in case you all did not know about that. And yeah, the main thing is that the luxury factor, people has...
Probably the main reason why people buy it.
Again, in our review of the iPhone 17, when I was using the Cosmic Orange, nobody cared as much as when I was using the Air as my daily phone. When I took it up, people were like, oh, then they were like either approaching me directly, or they were like talking about this, oh, that's the new Air kind of thing. But, that is one of the main things, because, again, like what Jason Smashpop said, that this is the bosses of the Devil Wears Prada, right? On the bad side, yes, the single speaker. You're an audio person, I'm an audio person. I like to listen to audio on the speaker. We had that on Said's community post, where I like that. But I did notice, honestly, when it comes to vertical video consumption, because you're watching the videos like this, right?
Yeah.
It's not so bad.
Also, I think ultimately when you're doom scrolling the IG stories or not, the audio quality isn't the most important factor.
And also, like, if you will be blocking your fingers over here anyway. So knowing the fact that it's coming straight from the top, it does make it sound decent. Not the best, obviously. I'll be lying if I say it's the best.
Yeah, and also Apple wants you to buy the AirPods Pro 3. So
exactly.
And I would
They
I would
create
do the same.
problem and the solution at the same time.
Yeah, I don't really use the phone speakers as much.
Yeah.
Especially if I really want to consume music, it's always through headphones.
So what I do, and I mean, continuing on from me using a speaker. So like, for example, Stephen Butler did an interview with Jurgen Klopp. I don't know whether you watched it.
I didn't watch it, but I know it
Holy Mother
happened.
of God, is so bloody good. So because it's 2.5 hours.
Both legends.
So in between, what I was doing is that instead of just me watching it on the screen, I was playing it on my phone speaker, and I was doing, like scooping Luna's scoop and the shit and all that kind of stuff. I was just like putting my phone here, putting the phone there. I was brushing a teeth, So I was that's when I need the phone speaker. So it is definitely not good for YouTube or Netflix of sorts. When it comes to battery life, about 3.5 to 4 hours of screen on time.
No surprise, is it?
Expected.
Yeah.
But when I post this on Threads, which you are not on Threads, because what I do is that whatever I post on Instagram, it automatically goes on Threads. The phone's Threads review in a pinch carousel that I did very well on Threads for some strange reason. Somebody commented and said that, I got 8 hours. I don't know what iPhone Air version 10 you're having, but I don't think you can get 8 hours of screen on time on this. But if you can, it's good for you, brother. Heat on gaming, this one was different level.
No surprise either.
Extremely hot, according to Lee Hood. Said, you were there? Yeah, Said is nodding his head. Said is behind the decks today.
No vapor chamber, much thinner form factor.
I think it's only because of the thinner form factor. I don't think it's so much on the vapor chamber. Of course, the vapor chamber does help. Definitely would help. But if you put a vapor chamber, just yesterday, if you're watching this on a Saturday, means 2 days before, Zach, I know we refer to him a lot because he's a durability king, right? He opened up the vapor chamber. It looks so cool, but it's not that thick actually. It's about like that, So I think it's because of there's not enough space for the flare to, and everything is really on top here, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense of why it became hot. Again, I don't think...
So the heat signature will literally be up here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then again, it is not for people... The phone is not for people who wants to game. No. If they want to game, they'll probably do like some bouncy game or Subway Surfers kind of thing, just for the sake of killing time.
They're not going to get impact on it.
I just want to say that. Yeah.
Definitely not.
Camera limitation. Some people may not like the fact that there's no ultra wide. For me, it's okay. But one thing's for sure, which was quite funny because this is something where Ziwa actually pointed it out to Lihud, and Lihud told me about it. I'm like, oh yeah, there's no cinematic mode.
That sucks.
Yeah, I know, because they've been using a single sensor anyway. So cinematic mode does not use two lenses to make that, because it's image processing. And I do know some bosses or some creators who would want to have this phone with the cinematic mode, because
I would do
aside from Samsung, iPhone's cinematic mode has always been the best. But Vivo's one is amazing also. But yeah, so I think that is quite a huge...
Yeah, a bit of a...
Why do you think that they did not include that, if it's possible?
They could unlock it sometime in the future.
It's like the iPhone Air now has cinematic.
Yeah. Possible. If you're saying it's image processing alone, then it's possible to unlock it.
Also worth mentioning is that a digital zoom beyond 5 times, not so good in terms of the quality.
Also kind of expected
as
because
well.
it's
And
non-optical.
people having this phone would not go beyond 5 times. They'll be like zoom 1 times, 2 times. Even when you're taking photos of food, 2 times is just a nice focal length. Exactly like what Jason said also. SIM restrictions. People like me and you, yes, but I think people in general, not really. Knowing the fact that it's only eSIM. So
I don't think it's a problem.
Yeah, it's not a problem for general users, but probably for us, because we are always using the phone. Like, like now, currently the SIM card is on my iPhone 17 Pro Max.
Yeah, true.
And the Google Pixel 10 Pro Fold, which we will talk about that in the next video and episode. So the SIM restriction is not so much on the regular users, but just so you all know, if you always change phones a lot, that would be something that might be an issue. And
do you think the owners of the iPhone Air would also own another phone as a main phone? That's the question.
Could be. That's a good question.
So this is for you to tayang wayang, and the actual workhorse would be another phone, maybe a Pro Max or another Android or whatever.
So I'll throw back another question to you. Have you seen anybody using an iPhone Air in the wild?
No, aside from journalists, aside from tech reviewer. So far.
No. I saw 2 people.
Okay. I've seen
one person when I went to eat claypot lo shifan. And the owner of the shop, shout out to you if you're watching this video.
You should go out, interview them, right?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, why do you buy that?
And then he messaged me on Instagram and said, by the way, I was the owner of the shop. I saw you. At first, my wife, Pris, was like, I think the guy knows you. I said, no way. Then eventually he messaged me on Instagram and said, by the way, I was the shop owner of the Lo Shifan shop. We should go together. Anyway, he uses an iPhone Air.
Okay.
And
literally
he's one of the 2 people.
Devil Wears Prada story.
Exactly, right?
Because he's the owner.
Yeah, he's the owner of the shop. But another person was like,
and he drives a Lamborghini.
Probably.
Yeah.
But what I also saw is that when I was in a flight, when I was coming back from Shanghai for the Vivo event, I saw somebody using the black color iPhone Air, the black color version. When I look at the singular camera, that's how you kind of know from far. So you haven't seen it all, side haven't seen. So that probably is the reason why that later news we're going to talk about how apparently the phone is not doing so well on the sales, which does surprise me and Vernon especially. And the battery pack, it's a very nice small battery pack, right? So
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so here you go. I purposely brought it for you to see. It's so nice, it's clean,
wow,
it's minimal.
I love the finish on it.
Yes, it's beautiful. It complements well. So you can see how you put it.
Can I put it?
Cannot. So that's the problem.
What the?
Yeah. So imagine.
What the thought?
Yeah. So imagine if you put it on this. See, it's like, imagine if it's just fitting the iPhone 17 Pro Max.
It does.
Yeah, it can. It looks alien. Yeah, but no, you can put it here, but it comes out. So you try to put it on the 17 Pro Max. So
why, Apple? Why?
Yeah. Imagine if they made it just nicely.
Because it's purposely built for the iPhone Air.
Yes, because when you put it over here, you can see how nice it looks.
Because of the plateau thing.
Look at that. It feels like it's a part of the phone. Yeah. And
remember the battery pack for the iPhone XR?
Yes, correct.
Which is a little bit ugly.
Yes.
Where it protrudes.
Yes.
This is so cool, man.
Yeah, it's very slim. But while it comes with the same battery size, 3149, but you only can charge up to 65%.
I'm not surprised. Yeah. I think the battery packs before never charged to 100%.
Yeah, but in case people expecting it to charge to 100%, it does not, because wireless charging produces a lot of heat and most of the battery percentage will definitely go off like that. So so that would be for the iPhone Air. I'm going to ask you one more question based on this. who would you recommend this phone for? who would you recommend this phone for, and why?
I think I've said this before when we were talking about the iPhone. I think it's for people who want to be in the forefront of, style and being part of the fashionable crowd.
But if that's the case, then why you haven't seen the iPhone Air in the wild? You never find anybody fashionable yet.
Yeah, maybe we're not looking at the fashionable crowd. We're finding it.
Like when I saw it on in the airport. So, yeah.
Is there a fashion week coming up? Maybe we'll see more of that during.
Okay, how many people have? If you had to say it, is it less than 10 or more than 10 people are using the Pro iPhones then?
Yeah, I've seen people using
more than 10 people.
Yeah, Pro Max. Okay. I've seen Cosmic Orange in a while. Yes,
you have seen in a while. Okay.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of Grab riders using it.
Recently I was in Kuching, and then one of the team members was already using a Pro Max, but it was the blue.
Okay.
And another one was planning to get the Cosmic Orange.
I didn't ask you about the 17 because 17 looks like the 16, so we can't tell the difference.
We can't
tell the difference.
Yeah. But we've seen some of the new 17s out there.
So which means that the Pro is still selling better compared to any.
No hair.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about another device which unfortunately we do not have here. It was a very interesting launch. We've been talking about
it was a really boring launch.
Interesting in a way. Okay, correct. Interesting because
device,
interesting. No, interesting. What I meant by interesting is that not the device was so much interesting. It was still interesting, but not to a point. I said that the launch was interesting because suddenly out of nowhere, I got a notification on YouTube to say that, there's a Samsung Live event. I'm like, what else are they releasing? Then I kind of guessed that it was going to be the headset. We did not know what it's going to be called, but eventually it's called the Galaxy XR. So give us the lowdown on what's good about it, and I will talk about what's bad about it.
What's good? I guess it's the first Android XR device.
Yep.
Oddly, it's not from Google. I would have expected one from Google. So it's built on a dedicated operating system, Android XR, which is built by Google, obviously, for spatial computing. Just like Vision OS for Apple and Meta and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think the big draw is Gemini Live being built in to this device.
Yep.
And you can basically, it's definitely smarter than Siri in many ways. So the brain is there. If you are familiar with Gemini, then you'll be, I think, find it very useful in how you also navigate this device. And there is seamless pass-through and control. So it helps blend, digital elements as you would expect from mixed reality, where you have digital elements within a physical world, right? So a lot like Vision OS, really. And in a workspace, you'll be able to have a virtual desktop literally around you, like it's in a spatial environment, which I think is quite a cool thing to have if you want productivity.
Yeah.
You want extended monitors, you can have as many as you want. Yeah. Literally 360 degrees.
Good point.
So that's cool. Obviously, this is made for also media consumption. So if you are watching movies and consuming content, this would be another way of getting a more immersive experience.
Yeah.
Imagine Formula One and you're in the seat of the car. And
because Apple Vision Pro still doesn't have YouTube in there. So
because it's Apple TV.
Yeah, exactly. So, but a lot of people still consume YouTube, and since it's a Google and Samsung thing, so it's nice to watch our videos on YouTube and watch any videos on YouTube on that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm sure it'll come eventually.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Right? There's no point limiting particular platform.
Yeah,
because the device and the OS is there and it supports all these functions. So.
Correct.
Yeah. So give us the bad.
So the bad is that while it's not as expensive as the Vision Pro, but the barrier to entry, which is expectable or expected, which is about $1,799 USD, which is about $7,300 7,500, 7,600. I think after all the tax and all your usual suspects of how the price is going to go up, probably is going to be below 9 or around the lights of that. Still cheaper because the Apple Vision Pro starts at 3,499, which is about 16,000 over ringgit. But if you buy it from Shashinki and all this kind of stores, it's like 20 over 1,000 ringgit.
So why do you think the Android XR is half the price of Vision Pro?
I think they intentionally made it not as expensive so that it's a bit more easier to go in. But at the same time, would people spend almost 8,000 ringgit on a Vision XR kind of goggle? Maybe yes, maybe no.
But I remember those days where you have HTC Vive and all that stuff.
Correct.
People actually pay a lot of money, especially gamers.
Yeah.
And people who do VR applications. They do spend that kind of money for hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, in terms of tech-wise and hardware-wise, is it even half as good as a Vision Pro? Like
That's
maybe
true.
resolution, maybe, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Processing.
So I guess because the whole specs is not out yet, right? So probably when we know the specs and people use it for a long term, then we can see whether or not it's worth the price. The second bad thing is the fact that it has a limited launch, similar like their Edge, which is only in the US and South Korea for now.
Testing waters, I believe.
Yeah. So speaking of which, testing waters, do you think that the new Edge, when it comes out, if it's going to come alongside the S26,
It will come eventually, I feel.
globally lah?
Yeah, I feel.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
it will
hope
come
so,
eventually.
because we didn't get to test it out. Like, of course, we always said about who asked for this and all, but we of course need to test it out to really find out how good a phone is, and it comes with 2 cameras. So yeah, and Android XR is brand new, so I feel like it's still unproven. Like Vision OS is very stable, it's very good at the way it is, and we always talk about Apple software. So I feel it took a lot of time for Android TV or Android TV OS
True.
to do good,
True.
because the apps was never made for TV. But when we reviewed the Bravia series from Sony is where you start to see the best from Android TV. And I always like LG's Web OS, and even I don't even mind Samsung's Tizen OS.
Yeah.
So we do not know yet. This might be already good, but I feel it might take time, like how Android TV took time as well. And AI dependence. We all know how Gemini Live is very, very good already on Google phones. We still do not know whether or not it would be as good on a headset, because remember things like recognizing things like lag, things like, like how long you process the information, whether it sees things correctly.
Yeah. And even gestures, right?
Yeah,
You may not read
exactly
as well.
There's
as
also
you should.
apparently circle to search now, which looks okay based on, I think Android Authority did a review on that. It looks okay, but we need to wait and see. But of course, it's better than Siri, and I think overall that are the so-called
For now.
negative things that we can look at. But yeah, what is your conclusion about this whole entire thing then?
I mean, in terms of headset itself, I feel Google's playing catch up with Apple, kind
Okay.
of,
Okay.
with the Vision Pro.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit ahead. But then again, there's so many players. There's Meta, there's HTC, there's many others, right?
So one thing which I haven't done a video about is that when I went to China, Vivo has they call it the Vivo Vision. It has a headset as well. I didn't do a video about it because obviously I got no time, but I do have the footage. I might be coming out with a reel on that.
So
In a very
offering
quick
similar
nutshell.
kind of features? Or?
Yeah, it has the similar pinch and zoom and the pinch to select and all. Resolution-wise, is not as mind-blowing as how Apple Vision Pro is. It's going to come to Malaysia, but only on certain Vivo Experience Store, but not available for people to purchase just yet.
Yeah.
So it's funny how that a lot of companies are not looking at the Asian market as a potential place to buy this kind of headsets. Why do you think so?
Maybe because of the price, right?
Okay.
I think the price is a little bit
Yeah.
limiting.
Yeah.
Like imagine Vision Pro is like 16,000.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Although, to be fair, I've always thought of the Vision Pro as kind of like a tech showcase. It's
Yeah.
just a platform for developers to develop,
Yeah.
features and application users for that platform.
Yeah.
So while Vision Pro is a niche product, I feel that maybe Galaxy XR is will help democratize XR.
Yeah, probably.
And then other players will follow. You know, Meta apparently is working on an XR MR headset, affordable one that they're going to launch in 2026. So next year. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens there. Obviously, I'm pretty sure hardware wise is not going to compare to a Vision OS or a Vision Pro. And maybe we can hope that Apple will release a consumer version of Vision Pro.
Yeah.
Well,
they did refresh it with a new M5 chip, but it's the same thing, it's the same height, same weight. It's just that there's an additional strap which comes along.
Makes it more comfortable.
Makes it more comfortable,
still heavy.
but it's still heavy because that was my first impressions when I tried the Apple Vision Pro, especially even though for me who has a bigger nose bridge, it really felt heavy for a long period of time. Now, my question to you also is that since Google got Samsung to do this particular headset, do you think Google will do it on their own? Or they just said, you know what, let Samsung do it?
It's possible. It's possible. Probably OEM it from Samsung
feel
or
they
LG
might
or
not do
HTC.
it. But I think they
one
might
of the
not,
Google partners.
Exactly. But I think they might not do it, but they might go into Google Glass instead to bring back and revive that. Because if they nail the software very well, they can ask anybody to actually do it.
Yeah.
Because Google has partnerships with every other brands, like the Xiaomi's and the Vivos of the world.
I would think Google will go to the ecosystem and get their partners to build more devices.
Yeah. So at least
they focus on the software and the OS.
Yeah, and they need to focus on their own hardware, like the 10 Pro Fold.
You have thoughts about that?
Yes, of course. I have that for next week, not this time around. Okay, so I believe you have a question for the audience. So
we talked about VR, AR, and XR, and all these things that is under the umbrella of extended reality. The question for you guys is that: is the metaverse VR or AR?
That's a good
Try
point.
and answer that.
Yeah, let us know in the comment section below. All right, for the tech news roundup, it was rather slow, but towards the end of the week, Syed managed to dig out some good stuff. One of the good stuff is the Redmi K90 Pro Max, which is going to be the world's first smartphone with a true 2.1 audio system with a tiny little woofer at the back, which is interesting.
Yeah,
I wanted to put this as your segment of who asked for this, but we had an even more interesting thing to talk about that. Apparently, this Redmi K90 Pro Max is a dedicated, will have a dedicated subwoofer that joins the smartphone stereo setup, and it's going to be built by Bose. We all know how Bose bass is so damn powerful. What's interesting is that, I don't know, I'm going to talk about later, is that how this works alongside with that, it reminds me of the Sonos ecosystem. You know how when you get just the soundbar, you get all the low end, the mid end, and the high frequencies. But when you put a sub, it will smartly tell the soundbar, oh, by the way, there's a sub. So you just give it over to the sub. So that is how it's going to work hand in hand, and that's the reason why it's going to be a 2.1 audio system. So again, this is an audio thing. So we need to listen to ourselves.
Yeah. And how does it compete with, let's say, Dolby Atmos on phones that are already existing, right? Although that is more,
I think it's the base
3D surround.
I would love
rather than just channel.
I would want this. I know it's like who asked for this. It's not a who asked for this, but I would want this. I like the fact that they have a premium audio partnership. Bose been pretty quiet. Yeah. But Bose
and also premium, right? Bose is like a premium.
It's you see, like for example, when Samsung does the collaboration with Harman, we all know Samsung bought over Harman.
They own it.
So it's like they already own it, so it's understandable. But for Redmi or Xiaomi, for this case, to have a collaboration with Bose, that is quite interesting. Is rumored to have the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 chipset and multi-lens camera setup. Now, here's the thing. This Redmi K series does not release globally because globally it's known as Poco. So there is a huge rumor that end of November there might be a Poco event coming. So
so we get a similar Poco device.
Probably, if that is
also
the case.
a Bose partnership.
That means
Do you
if
think?
this K90 Pro Max is through,
Yeah. It's a rebatch.
then it will
Redmi.
be the Poco F8 Ultra, which is interesting because the Poco F7 was released earlier this year. So people are going to be very angry. It's like, the Poco F7 just released, not F8 releases in the same year.
Maybe that's
Not our fault.
Maybe that's Poco 7 Ultra
There is a Poco F7 Ultra.
already.
Or maybe a Poco F7 Ultra Max.
Ultra Pro Max Plus.
Yeah. Before we go into the bed, I want to get your ideas about this whole idea first and foremost, and then we can go into the
I
bed.
don't know. It sounds like a great idea until it's not.
Why?
But,
What do you mean by until it's not?
until that? Oh, it's actually nothing much. You know, when you hear the actual quality, is okay. It's just a novelty because it has a subwoofer at the back, right? We don't know how practical it is right now. Does it have an IP rating? Number two, there's no mention of any of the audio hardware. What DAC, what audio chip does it have?
Yeah.
Does it have a 3.5 mic jack?
Okay.
But I think the design is interesting. It looks a little bit like the iPhone 17-ish Pro, and I dig it. I like it, and I think phones with good audio is always welcome. to me.
Like the iPhones, like the Pros, the iPhones.
All the
Pro,
iPhones
Samsungs.
sound
Yeah.
fantastic, aside from the iPhone Air maybe,
Yeah.
but all of them sound good. All of them Dolby Atmos certified. The iPad Pros sound fantastic.
Oh yes, iPad Pros.
MacBook Pros sound fantastic.
Yeah.
So as a base, any phone with good audio is good.
Also, the question remains whether or not it will sound better if the phone is face up or face down. And if you
in those days HTC with the front facing screen. Wow, godsend, man.
Even the Pixel
Beautiful
2,
sound.
the Pixel 2 and the XL, I remember it was nice because of front speakers.
Yeah.
So, but maybe, because if you're going to put your phone face up, don't know whether or not it will vibrate like
I don't know. It might because
it's a guru like that. So I guess again, like what you say, we have to wait and see. But the possible bad points is that a phone with subwoofer sounds cool, but we might not know whether or not it will provide enough depth, because remember it's exposed, right? Like when you get a subwoofer in your car or even a subwoofer, it's always in an enclosure.
Yes.
In order to really enhance, like how thick can the phone be to really produce and to have the proper space between the speaker's diaphragm and all. So I know I'm being super technical because I'm an audio guy, but I'm trying to understand how it works. But I'm sure that if it didn't work well, Redmi would not even bother having that. Because of that, there's also a possible size and weight trade-off. It might be a very thick or heavy device. And Syed, you were saying there is a DAC, right? You're nodding your head earlier. Okay. Oh, it's already launched, right? Okay, so it's already launched in China. So that's what Syed is purchasing.
What, now, today? Or?
Okay. So it's already launched in China already.
We shall look it up.
Exactly. And also, having a dedicated subwoofer, whether or not it's physical, you still need something to power it. So could that have a battery life effect?
Yeah.
And if yes, the silicon carbon battery, how much of an effect that could have on battery life? And I would say that while Bose has great speakers on the speaker, like a portable speaker, on your like on your headphones and all, we never heard a Bose speaker on a phone before because it's new.
And it's also a very small form factor. It's always a limiting thing to.
So it's either going to sound good or it's not going to
miniaturize.
Sound good. Yeah, I think it's going to either go both ways. It's not going to be, it's decent. It's going to be either like, wow. It's like how when we reviewed a Toshiba TV, because Toshiba TVs are known to have the best speakers on a TV. And it is true. I think it was the M something when we reviewed, I think a few years ago. The whole team was like, wow, this one has good speakers.
Yeah.
Again, because the speaker is hidden, but then again, it's so much bigger speaker. So that is the things that we need to look at. Nevertheless, of course, if we get our hands on this particular K90 Pro Max, or if this is really the Poco F8 Ultra, let us know in the comment section below. But either way, we'll try to get our hands on this. All right, into the tech news. Like I said, it's been a little slow tech news. That was the first one. The second one would be in relation to this particular phone again, which is the iPhone Air. because apparently Apple is slowing down their production to almost 50% lesser. Give us a lowdown on that, Brennan.
According to reports, I mean, total iPhone as a whole, iPhone production for the 17 Pro Max and Pro, they're around 85 to 90 million units globally, right?
Yeah.
And the Air takes up 10% of that amount. So 8.5 million, 9 million at most. So it's really not a volume seller,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah. It's not a lot for iPhone, but if you look at the numbers, it's still damn bloody a lot, right?
I mean, it's still a lot of phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, just not the same, volume as would be an iPhone, normal
Okay.
iPhone.
Okay.
Again, it's never meant to have been a mass market product. It's a very niche product. Selling 10 million a year, I guess that's pretty good. I don't know what goals that
What
Apple
were
has,
they
has,
expecting though?
has set, but then again, if you're talking about slowing down production and cutting down production, that's normal. That's to control inventory.
They're just being smart about it.
Yeah,
It's just that
it's
it
not-
became news because of the fact that, people love the negative biasness against Apple.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, I honestly found this to be interesting because I felt like, probably they knew it's going to be like Apple Vision Pro, but I thought that it would sell more than what I thought.
Maybe it's temporary. You know how it's cyclical.
Yeah.
And all manufacturers do this. They slow down production based on demand. And I feel this is like a Cannes independent movie, right? Where you have a very critically acclaimed film.
Ooh,
And everybody's,
I
all
like
the
that.
journalists
I
say,
like-
the
I like
reviewers
that.
say this is top class,
Yeah.
100% on Rotten Tomatoes, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then
Nobody
in the
heard
box
of it.
office, it bombed.
Yeah. It's
It's a little bit like that, although not that bad.
I like that.
Although not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
It's similar like how I watched the interview with Colin and Samir and Casey Neistat. So me and Mo watched that together. And he was saying about how these days, which we all know, it's not about how creative you can get anymore. It's about how many views you can get per video.
The vanity metrics.
Here's the fun, interesting fact that that video which I did with that whole Vivo the telephoto extender video. It was one of the most easiest videos I ever done. I just literally showed it and just posted it up. And I did recently an unboxing with Freddy Krueger and stuff, which you saw.
Was
But
that really you?
Yeah. It was.
Okay.
And what's interesting is that video currently stands. I'll tell you. Can you just guess what's the number in terms of views?
10,000.
Pardon?
10,000.
10,000. Right? Okay, I think no. You already kind of know already. Okay. What is your 2 million?
2 million. Wow.
It's 6.7 million views. Yeah.
IG.
Yeah. So no, here's the thing. No. Please don't. Because
Freddie needs to.
No.
Freddie needs to appear more on videos, I think.
no, not Freddy.
Yeah, I know.
It's the tele. Yeah, I guess.
I know
but
what
even
you
the
mean.
Freddy
It's
video
the-
is like
it's the subject matter.
4,500. My point is that.
But you know what?
Casey
It's-
Neistat said it's true. It's
But
that,
you know what? You can never predict what
Yeah.
can happen.
Yeah.
You can never say, I'm going to create a viral video. You can't. If you're telling a good story, it's entertaining, it's on point, it's at the right time. So many variables, right?
Yeah, correct.
And that video proves that exactly that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and also
You never
it
know.
is also what Casey said.
I mean, good for
going back
you.
to that, he was talking about how, like what you mentioned about the Cannes independent movie. He said that up until now, the movie which is very well known for the critics and all, by bombs in the box office. So, yeah, what Casey was also saying is the fact that gone are the days where the creative idea is more exciting than the views as well. So
Also, but just to add, I don't think the iPhone Air is a bomb.
yeah,
I think it still takes time. There's still time for it
I
to
agree.
sell and to fly off the shelf.
But it's definitely a news, and we definitely need to talk about that and to give our thoughts as well. But let us know what you think in the comment section below. Okay, for your segment, I didn't know this until Good catch on that side. So Casio releases a ring-sized G-Shock. Size is 23.4 by 20 by 7.5 mm, about 10th the size of the classic Casio DW5600.
Is it made for babies? Or?
Wait. I want to know your thoughts after I tell everything. Built with resin stainless steel, same material as a full-size G-Shock. Has shock resistance and 200-meter water resistant. So you can imagine swimming 200 meters underwater and checking your time on your finger. What time is it, bro? Okay, it's time for me to go up. Glug, 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 glug. Come on.
I can't see.
It is a 6-digit LCD and LED backlight. It comes with a G logo shaped stand box, which is apparently a collector's edition. On one side, I feel it's genius because they came up with something which entering the jewelry market. On the other side is like, are they running out of the wrist space or people
Jewelry
not using
market,
enough
really?
watch? My question is that with G-Shock Kaki, the people who really loves G-Shock, would they go crazy for this? And is this the future of rings, like smart rings? Now you're going to have a watch. So yes, now give your thoughts. Who asked for this?
My thoughts was like, why, bro? Why? I mean, when you mentioned that, would the collectors buy this and would it appeal to them? I think as a collector, yeah, because it's rare, right? Yeah. As an actual tech product that you want to use, or maybe even a fashion accessory, no. As a fashion accessory, come on, no, don't think so. It's not even, doesn't even look nice. I mean, it's a
but
mini,
it's still usable.
It's
right?
a mini G-Shock, yes, but I don't
it's still
think
usable.
it's
There's a time. There's a timer function. Why not? It's like Austin Powers would wear it, right?
I don't know. Nobody asked for this. Seriously, I not something I'd buy.
But if you were in their shoes, right? What do you think went on in the board meeting? He's like, okay, guys, we're gonna release this.
The product guy is like, I've got a great idea. If I could miniaturize this and we put it into a wearable kind of form factor as a ring, we can do it. We have the technology.
I've seen a ring which has watch before. I've seen it before.
A ring with a watch.
Yeah, I've seen it before. Like I've seen people like those bling bling people pernah pakai. But I never thought that someone would create a digital version. And if someone were to create, I would thought that it would be one of those unknown China brands, but it's Casio.
But you know what's disappointing? Because it's a ring and a wearable, I would expect it to function as a smart ring maybe.
Oh.
Because why no smart features at all? I know it's a G-Shock, but no smart features at all. And something that you wear as a ring. If I were to do that and I already have a G-Shock, at least it has
like an app or something at least.
A different function,
Yeah. Okay.
But it doesn't. It's a novelty. It's a souvenir. It's an expensive souvenir. But yeah.
So you feel you didn't ask for this, obviously.
No, I didn't.
Okay, I didn't ask for this either because I'm not a watch person, and for me, Apple Watch is fine.
I'm a watch person, but I don't wear my watch on my finger.
That's a very good point. Okay, so yeah, nobody asked for this, but if you feel like you asked for this, let us know in the comment section below. Okay, for commodity segment, this almost sounds like an Android versus iOS thing. Decent question site, not the best, but decent. But we do have 201
it's good
votes.
for discourse.
So good. Yeah. So when I took the screenshot, it was like 6 comments and 201 votes. I'm sure it's gone up by now. The community segment question is that Apple and Android users, if there's ever a reason why you switch over to the other side, vice versa, whether or not it's an Android or iOS, let us know your comments below. And a lot of people says that operating system, that is the 57th% on the highest. Second is cameras, then is design and a processor. So the question side, since you're behind, what you meant is that people switching from Android to Apple or vice versa?
I think vice
versa.
Both
sides.
Yeah.
Okay. So my question is that would someone switch from an Android to Apple because of the operating system?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And also vice versa. People want to change from iPhone to an Android because of the operating system.
For me, I think, I answered operating system because I feel that the operating system is the crown jewel of the platform. Anybody can make hardware.
Okay, so currently you are an Apple user, correct? So you are saying that if you are to go to Android, it's because you're fed up with iOS 26. That's why you're joining.
It's either I'm fed up or I think Android does some things better and I want to change.
Okay.
It's like Windows to Mac versus Linux versus whatever other operating systems are out there.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because anybody can do hardware, right?
Yeah.
Let's say a Windows PC or something compatible. I mean, you cannot run Mac OS on Windows PC.
Yes, correct.
You can do it vice versa. Let's
Yeah.
say Mac OS, you can run Windows.
Yeah.
Via virtualization, whatever.
Yeah.
But like I said, the hardware can be the same, but the operating system defines the experience that the user is going to get.
That's a
so
good point.
a user can pick and choose based on their preference, what they want.
When
So
you
I
put
feel that's stronger than
Yeah.
cameras or processor design because that can be done by anyone.
Exactly. And also, we live in a world whereby cameras on Android phones are leaps and bounds ahead of what iPhone can do. There is also a teaser that I'm going to say is that I'm going to do a iPhone Pro versus an Android phone, so stay tuned for that. I'm not going to tell you yet. But I am with you on the operating system because imagine if Final Cut Pro was on Windows. I might get it instead, finally. Have a all-in-one powerful PC which can edit on Final Cut Pro and at the same time play Heroes. Because that's the kind of games I play. But
I mean, we've stumbled upon hacking toshes, because the hardware is the same.
I tried it, but no, it's
Yeah.
This is before.
But it can be done, right? So it's the OS and it's good that you mentioned Final Cut Pro because it's very OS specific.
Yes.
So because Final Cut Pro is on Apple platform, people might choose the Apple platform because they use Final Cut Pro.
Yes.
But yeah.
Maybe the EU can step in.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The EU,
please
they've stepped in more than enough.
Yes. So that's what Syed is saying. Let's
That's
check
so
out
annoying.
let's check out where's my YouTube? Okay, let's check out the comments coming from people.
yeah.
We need to see
Bring back nigga, come on.
Yes. Yeah. He's always here, right? So let's see when he's back
No,
again.
but he's always got the greatest comments.
I agree.
So good.
He's really, really good. I mean, just where the hell are you? You
Oh,
channel.
he did.
Oh, he did.
Okay.
I'm sure he did. Okay, so now there's 8 comments with 246 votes. Thank you so much, guys. He was the first one. The Big Black Digger. What's up, brother? We would love to know your name since
He's the
we
first one.
invite you twice already. Never say anything. So
This
we just
space
leave it
is reserved for you,
Yeah.
my brother.
He said, I have to say that iPhone cameras are absolutely amazing. But you know what? The question here sounds very smartphone based because there's cameras and stuff. I know I talked about Final Cut Pro, which is on a like a user,
Because I think
like
the
a
question
laptop
is
perspective.
Apple Android.
Yes, so that's fine. I have to say that iPhone cameras are absolutely amazing. My girlfriend uses the 14 Pro Max and all her pictures just outperform the S23 Ultra. But man, the lack of back button is a huge red flag for me. It might sound like a weird thing to complain about, Lamau, but dude, I need a back button. 2 things which I have in my opinion here. I don't think that the 14 Pro Max has better cameras than the S23 Ultra. I think the S23 Ultra's cameras are very, very good. Probably could be the tuning and stuff.
I feel it's subjective.
Yeah.
I think it's subjective. Maybe he likes the color science. Maybe if
okay,
you're talking
got
about
it.
maybe details, the S23 probably be better. Video definitely falls on the iPhone, I think.
Yeah. Probably.
But it's very subjective.
In terms of the back button,
very hard to say
though,
cameras. to say.
I've always been a gesture person whenever I use an Android phone, so I don't need the back button.
I have no back button on my Android phone.
But I do know a lot of people still use an Android phone,
But
especially Samsung
funny
phone.
enough, the early days of iOS had a back, kind of like a back button.
But now you kind of have it if you swipe, but there's no
swipe.
button.
Yeah,
right?
there's no
So
button. But I think we've gone beyond buttons.
Yeah.
Even with Android, everyone's done gestures. I think.
But probably because-
Xiaomi was the first one to
Yeah.
introduce that gesture thing to go back and front.
yeah.
Thank you, Xiaomi, for doing that because I think that's the way forward.
But again, to be on the Black Digger's side, he's probably, because he's an Android user for the longest time, more of a Samsung user, because Samsungs always have, like by default, they won't go default to the
Yes,
button.
they'll
won't
give
go
you
to
a,
gestures.
they give you
They've
an
always given
option to gesture or.
But now
have
most of the other
conventional
Android
buttons.
phones, they're like, okay, I just give it gesture. Here you go.
Right.
So probably because you're a Samsung user, for me, before I was using an iPhone daily, I've always been using a Samsung phone. My very first Samsung phone was a Note 2. Prior to that, I was using BlackBerry. So for me, yes, coming from BlackBerry with a physical back button and then coming to a Samsung phone, which also had a physical back button, I can kind of understand where you are. Yeah. But I guess we live in a
Those are
world
the
whereby
days.
back buttons are slowly fading out. But
Yeah.
I guess we understand where you come from. Leewood has said that as a long-time Apple user, I stay just because of the ecosystem, AirDrop, Wi-Fi, AutoSync, and of course powerful Macs. Honestly, would love to use Android like Vivo, Samsung flagship as daily, but there's no replacement for the MacBook. See, this is exactly what I said.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he commented here. But recently with Origin OS, things like there's hope. I agree. Because I did a video on Vivo's new Origin OS. It has that connectivity with a Mac, the multi-screen
I'm still
collaboration.
trying to figure out how they did that, and whether it's legal or they're working in a very
It's
gray
legal.
area.
It's legal because they couldn't have done it without Apple's permission.
Exactly.
And I think Apple is just not openly telling people, yeah, we let them use it. There might be a deal that we are not aware of because Vivo is not the first one who did this. Oppo did it.
Yeah.
And slowly a lot of brands are doing this is because I understand why. iPhone is still the number one selling phone in the world, right? And at the same time, the Macs are getting stronger and more powerful. So in order to marry them both, they wanted this to be there. Because last year when I recommended people the Vivo X200 Pro, people are saying, oh, but the software, I don't really like it. But right now we have things like Origin Island, which is exactly the dynamic
Origin
island.
Island.
But my
Very
point is
original.
that, yeah, it's very similar, right? So we will have a topic on the Origin OS soon. Let's not talk about it today.
Do you know what's my wish list though?
Yeah.
Global AirDrop.
Like everybody has AirDrop. I agree.
I mean, it's a specialty for iPhones, and
Yeah.
that's why we love the iPhone.
Yeah.
But if we could do it to everybody, and have everybody be able to share, just AirDrop you a video.
Yeah,
or
because
something.
even so, like
That would
I
be
had
so
to
awesome.
install the app called Easy Share on the
Yeah.
iPhone in order
Yeah.
to do so. So it's not like by default it works. So the Easy Share looks like this. It's an app where you need to kind of download it.
Yeah.
Only then you can kind of use it. But it's pretty fast, which is good. Going to Nash D's comment, he said, I'm pretty happy with Android so far, but for whatever reason, if I had to change to iPhone, it would be because of the OS and the perks that comes with it. Well, he'll be probably using an iPhone soon, so we'll see about that.
Yay.
Din says that, well, I use both iPhone and Android phones for the reason because each has their own strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah,
I
agreed.
agree. That's why
Totally
they say
agree.
there's no perfect phone, and that's one of the reasons why I do carry an Android phone and also an iPhone most of the time. But my daily driver is still an iPhone because of my HomeKit ecosystem together with the Apple Watch and all. My challenge to other smartphone companies is that try to create a watch like an Apple Watch to unlock doors. If you can do that, I might change. Because that's my door at home. I use this a lot. And again, we are
I'm
going
sure
off topic
it can
here.
be done if there was some sort of HomeKit.
Yeah.
Integration with the
A Xiaomi watch, the band, one of it apparently can do so. But again, Xiaomi's ecosystem
it
is
can
a
be
whole
done,
different thing. Speaking of the Apple Watch, again, we are going off topic for a while. I just want to say this before I forget to say this. You know how the new AirPods Pro 3 has the heartbeat sensor inside?
Yeah.
For the first time ever, I used to complain about how Apple Watches have that pause, like in between when you're working and when you look and it's he's reading.
Yep.
Now, because of that, it has never happened.
Oh,
Because it works hand in hand. Smart.
interesting. Yeah, it's very smart how
Yeah.
they because
Yeah. So it's like I look, it's always reading. It almost feels like the Galaxy Ultra watch where it's continuously reading.
Yeah.
But battery life, still 2 days. What are you talking? Anyway,
Better than half
back
day.
to the topic. Fist003, I use both so I can test both OSs. So you seem like a more technical guy. Speedy one says, I switched from the iPhone to the Android due to iOS 26. The new OS is still years behind the competition from iPhone to Android. Okay, so which means that he was one of those people who did not like iOS 26. Okay, thank you for your feedback.
shocking,
Yeah, it
but
is shocking. Understandable also, because probably he's like, this is nothing new for me. I want to go back to Android probably. Or maybe he was an Android user before that. Amir Fidios says that I use both iOS and Android. A lot of people uses both phones. That's very interesting.
Yeah. It's good. I think choice is good, and being exposed to more platforms give you, a better experience overall.
And based on who's using what on the main, like if he's using the Android as a main, then probably his secondary iPhone could be an iPhone Air. Or it could be the other way around, right? Like maybe you're using a Pro for your main iPhone, and then you use like a mid-range nothing phone or a Samsung A series phone. So that could
not
be
a surprise.
great. If I had to choose one, I'll be more towards choosing Android just because it has more options, but I won't just stick to one brand. There's one reply on top of that. Raja says that I like iOS apps, but Shopee is horrible. Okay, bro.
Well, so specific. Shopee.
Power hungry app and the back button always not consistent. Yeah, that's a
Shopee. That's
problem.
on you, man. It's
Yeah,
nothing
that's
to do with
Shopee's
OS.
problem, not really iOS. But yes, as usual, I always say this every single week. We really appreciate your amazing feedback. So thank you guys so much. As usual, Syed will be asking the questions every single Tuesday. So stay tuned for that as well. All right. As the closing thing, well, when it comes to what's coming up next week from an events perspective, it is a little slow, but before you know it, something is just going to come up as well. In terms of video releases recap, the iPhone Air in-depth review is already out in case you guys haven't seen it.
Watch that. It's a very important video.
And also you can see all the camera samples and to see how great it is. I also go through a lot more in depth where you can see visually on why the phone is and who the phone is for. And like I said, there's an upcoming video teaser where I'll be doing a video review of the Pro iPhones against an Android smartphone, which you never thought would go head to head.
Is it a Vivo? Is it a Xiaomi? Is it a Samsung?
We shall see. So stay tuned for that and subscribe if you guys haven't done so. With that, we'd like to say thank you so much for watching. My name is Adam Lobo.
My name is Varun. See you in the next one.
Bye-bye.